88.5 Soufriere FM, a minute after the hour of 11 a.m. in Surface Solution, of course, the Eastern Caribbean. Good morning, good morning, good morning. I'm really excited to present, yes, as I said earlier on, the second part of today's House Guest Edition, Mr. Tevin Ferrel Seja, and as we affectionately know him as a Tevin, our very own Soufriere. He has joined us here to just share his journey with us, and it's quite an exciting morning, definitely. Good morning to you, sir.
Good morning, good morning. Good morning to
How
you
you
as well.
feeling this morning? How are you?
I'm good. It's actually afternoon where I am, but I just came out of a sleep. I have gym in a while, so I'm happy. I'm happy to be here. Happy to share some information and light some people. Talk to my Soufrierians.
It's a pleasure as well to have you join us for the very first time. Fresh airs, a little about who you are.
Uh, man. Well, I mean, I'm Tevin Ferrel St. John. Well, Tevin St. John. A lot of people know me in Soufriere as that. If I were to say my cousin's name and my dad's name, a lot of people would then maybe know me even more. But I like to stick and try to introduce myself as just Tevin. I'm a professional athlete, professional volleyball player. I've been playing overseas ever since I was 20. Now I'm 30, 10 years into it as a pro. But I've been doing volleyball ever since I was 15 years old. I got introduced to it by a guy in Palmis named Leroy and Nihai, and I always check on him every time I'm back home, especially Leroy. Um, then after that, Mr. Mark Antoine at the Soufriere Comprehensive School, him, Howie, Santini, um, and there was a teacher named Mr. James, Marvin James at the time. They wanted to, push volleyball in the school and all of that. And then after that, I went to play for the national team. Went to my first tournament. Well, I didn't really like volleyball, to be honest. I always thought it was like a girl sport. But then, you know, the fact that I was traveling a lot, like playing for St. Lucia, going to so many different countries, and then I'm winning awards and stuff like that. I always said, "Oh, okay, so there's a way out of St. Lucia through sports or through volleyball." And at the time, I was just so heavily focused on basketball, and this guy named Ed Daisy, I think his name is. I was talking to him about basketball, and I wanted to be like one of the first people directly from St. Lucia in the NBA. And he was just breaking down the statistics for me, telling me like 1% of players make it to the NBA, and giving me like real life you know guidance. Um, and then after that, I continued just playing, thinking about it, and 2014, I don't know if I'm saying too much, but hopefully this is informative enough. 2014, I had a choice either to go play for St. Lucia football or to go play volleyball. And at the time, the St. Lucia football coach was saying that if I go play volleyball, then I'm no longer going to play football. And the volleyball coach was saying if I go play football, I will no longer play volleyball. And that day, I remember my mom, Coach Gig, at the time came to my house, and we're all trying to discuss it, and I made the choice to play volleyball. And I remember I saw my friend Julian Bisset. He went pro that same year, 2014, and I didn't know that persons could go pro and make a living out of volleyball. So when I saw him go, I was like, bro, you could go and make money. He's like, yeah, yeah. I told him, bro, in 2 years I'll be good. 2 years I'll be good enough. I'll be ready. And not knowing, it was just blind. No one guaranteed me anything, any contract, anything like that. And then just worked like a dog, like a crazy man for like 2 years. And then he came home 2016. He saw me. He saw my potential, and he then told the coach about me. And then the rest is what it is right now. So, yeah.
Very
That's,
inspiring. It makes me want to join some sport as well. It is
you have
very
to be
enjoyable
crazy.
as well.
If you really want it, like you have to kind of be a little cuckoo about it. But that's for another story. We'll get into that later.
Consistency, yes. Very encouraging for sure. Who were some of the people who really supported you along this journey?
Um, I would say my parents, like my parents in the start, even if I ain't too on too good terms with this man right now, my father, he played his part with me in volleyball, sending me to practice and stuff like that. My mom as well, both my parents played a big role in that. In terms of like the community, like I would say in the start, like Soufriere and the foundation a little bit, would help me to go to practice and stuff like that. But yeah, that's pretty much it. I had a lot of like little help here and there, and then a lot of people from Castries, like at the time, um, training or still training is the exact same thing. Training was only at evenings, so it's like I had to find a place to stay in Castries, and most of the time I didn't have a place to stay, so I'm either crashing on somebody's couch or I'm at somebody's house. So a lot of the guys in Castries, friends, teammates, and different people at the time was just like helping me, giving me a place to crash until I could maybe travel the next morning to go back down to Soufriere and stuff like that. So yeah.
Yeah, it's a story which is very personal to you, and a lot of persons would not really understand that. So now, just walk us through, your transition from playing, I mean, on the local ground to now competing at that professional level.
I mean, on the local ground, meaning Soufriere or Saint Lucia on the whole.
Solution on a whole.
Okay, in Saint Lucia, the thing is, at the time when I was training and I was coming up, we had really good coaches. We had a Cuban coach at the time, Luis Oviedo, and then a guy named Cafe from Brazil came. And with these two coaches, I would say my volleyball rose to another level. But then there was one national coach, Gaucher. I cannot tell you his full name. I always knew him as Gaucher. And with him there, like he learned so much from these other coaches. It then now propelled me, and he was always like at me and believed in me and stuff like that. But at the time, volleyball was the thing. Volleyball was the thing back home. Volleyball was everywhere, and it was played at a high level. Like everybody was kind of good, so your level goes up. Now it's a whole different scene. Like I don't know if I'm gonna get into that, but like when I was transitioning or like coming up on the scene, there was a lot of good players and a lot of people I could have learned from. Joseph Clesson, there was Long Octave, there was Julian, um, there was one guy when I was coming up named Augustine Faulkner. He was like the next prodigy of St. Lucia at the time. There's just a whole bunch of people. There's a whole bunch of people that was there, and me coming from Little Soufriere, like nobody else know like who's that boy coming from, country from, you smelling sulfur, them kind of things I used to be getting. But it was a hard journey. It was a very hard journey, but what I would say is at the time, just being back home and in me growing up before becoming a pro, I had a lot of exposure to volleyball. I had a lot of practice, a lot of travel experience, going overseas to play for St. Lucia, and yeah, just mentorship from those guys that I'm telling you. Just get information here and there from them.
Thank you, Tevin. At this moment, curiosity builds me to ask, what was the biggest challenge you faced when you first entered professional volleyball? As of anything else, there were always hiccups, challenges, unforeseen circumstances, if I am to put it like that as well.
Um, Whew,
You
the
actually took a
challenges
seat
I
back.
faced, the challenges I faced being overseas. First of all, nothing is given. I had to pretty much learn volleyball all over again. Whatever we know in the Caribbean as volleyball, or what I and also what I see even now of volleyball, is something that I feel like volleyball needs to be taught all over again in the Caribbean, because the way we think and the way we play volleyball is not what it is overseas. So I had to relearn volleyball. That was very challenging for me. Secondly, the fact that you're in a foreign country and you don't know the language, and there's a little bit of people who know the language, just trying to adapt to that, adapting to their culture, their food. That was very challenging for me. Um, and then just criticism. You coming from a small island that's not known for volleyball, so everything that they say to you comes off a little bit insultive. If you don't have a bit of thick skin, like it will be very hard for you to like and a lot of guys fell out on the pro scene just because of that. Not only from from the Caribbean, or like from US, guys from all over the world. Like whenever they come, because they maybe don't have thick skin, and the local guys, they also want to play, so they would do anything. They would talk bad about you. They would run your name to the coach. Maybe you went outside and you stayed later than the coach said that you were not supposed to. They'll go snitch and tell the coach something just so that they could get you off the scene. Um, a lot of the challenges, another one of the challenges I faced was injury. My first year, like I hurt my back. I came because I was not used to putting weights on my back like how they do overseas. So when they put weights on my back, I never did any weight training like that in St. Lucia. So when I got up there, I hit my L5, and that had me down for a while. And then I came back, and then I had some problems with St. Lucia Volleyball Association at the time, uh, which is crazy, with my transfer. So then my second year, when I thought I would have redeemed myself, was an embarrassing moment, because I'm here warming up on a court, and then the president pulling me to the side and telling me, "Oh, your transfer wasn't signed." And then I had to put my butt on a plane back to St. Lucia. Um, and then from there, it was hard. 2018 was a pretty hard year for me, because no coach trusted me. No coach trusted finish the season. What do you look like now? So me going to play little Caribbean tournaments and winning best blocker, best silver, looking at one of the best players on St. Lucia team, it meant nothing. For people overseas, it means nothing, because it's like, oh, but you playing against guys that's way shorter than you. You playing against guys that's nothing. This is lack of a better word, like a shit tournament. This is not good. So um, when I then now started to, when I was contemplating about giving up, the girl I was seeing at the time was like really telling me like, no, just give it one more, just give it one more push and see how it goes. And I thank her till this day. I thank her so much that at that time I didn't give up, and I continued. I asked coaches favors. I begged a lot. And then one coach just gave me a chance, and then I had one of the best second half of a season a player had, being having the best attack efficiency for the second half of the year. So I was like really good that year. And then from there, like my volleyball was okay, it was good. And then 2020 COVID hit, which was the craziest time of my life, because I got stuck in Greece and I couldn't leave Greece. I stayed there throughout the whole COVID. Had to learn Greek. Um, got put out my house by the team. I had nowhere to go, no food, no nothing. And my guardian angel, Julian Bissett, the guy who introduced me to it all, he was in Greece at the time because he's married to a Greek girl. And he saved me, and together with a guy from Greece named Andreas. I call him like my Greek dad, and him and his family took me in like theirs, gave me a place to stay, gave me food, gave me everything. And yeah, till this actually just earlier I was speaking to them. Like I'm forever grateful for these people. And then 2020, I ended up getting a team for the new season, 2020-2021 season. And yeah, my volleyball exploded after that. Went to the final, brought my team to the final, had a great season. Then after that, went to Portugal, Romania, Azerbaijan, Croatia, and now I'm in France. So yeah.
Wow, this is what you say a success story. Because a lot of the times we reap rewards not knowing actually the tedious moments, those unfortunate experiences as well, when a lot of doors are basically shut in your face. But you have to be persistent. You have to continue the journey no matter what, because you have a dream that needs to actually be,
Yeah.
brought to life for sure. But I am, my goodness, I'm shocked not knowing. I
Like
mean, a
it's pretty much
volleyball
a tip of the
player, we
iceberg.
see actually went through those hardships.
I tried to summarize it for you a little bit. I tried my best to summarize it, but there was a lot of little details in there that is crazy. It will put off a lot of people. From the town of Soufriere to the town of Saint in the ministry and all that. I could expose a lot of people, but at the same time, I just try to keep it professional and cordial because, like, I know that at the end of the day, I didn't go through these things for no reason, and I know that God puts everyone in a position or gives everyone a battle that He knows that they could overcome. So I do not despise or have any grudge against anyone who didn't help me at the time or who didn't see fit to assist me in something that was really needed. But like I'm more thank them because without that, I would not have been the man that I am now. I would not have overcome the challenges that was placed in front of me. So I'm actually very
Yeah,
grateful for.
definitely. Yes. Kudos to that for sure. And imagine we may not always want to agree to the fact that you have to step out a yard, to be great. You have to receive your trophy, your crown elsewhere, never on your home turf. And when that happens, unfortunately, those very same persons would be the one coming in to get the bragging rights, like I did it, or it was because of me, or we did it.
Yeah, for
Fake
sure.
support, fake love.
Yeah, I mean, I've seen a lot of that. Even this year, I had one of the most successful seasons like a professional athlete has ever had from the Caribbean. Like on a team sport. Like I'm not like a guy who went to the U.S. and they mom from here and they just claim citizenship because they have some kind of mother or father from here. Like I'm from the soil, and I won best middle of the season. Like in terms of professional athletes winning an individual trophy overseas, there's not much of that in the Caribbean, and that was nothing. When it got posted on St. Lucia Times, I reached out to Terry Philistine. I reached out to him to post that. Whenever something that they come to me and ask me, "Oh, Tevin, how are you doing?" or "What's going on?" or they just trying to follow up on my season. Like that's not the case. No, I usually reach out to these people and I say, "Hey, like this is happening. So like maybe you should post. Maybe you should. This is a story for you, or you should post that." So it is what it is, and I've just realized for a very long time that they don't really care. Like the country's always been about either track and field. It was Levin Spencer, now it's Julian Alfred. Um, it was about football for a while, and cricket. Let's not forget cricket. You had Darren Sammy and all of that. So now that Darren Sammy's out of the picture, and kind of coaching, it's still kind of there. The cricket because of the Caribbean, the whole West Indies thing, but all the other sports don't get nearly as much attention. Where you have a national team training in the worst of conditions, like either on concrete where your knees. When a lot of these athletes from go overseas and then they have some injury or whatever, they always wonder, oh, why you get injuries? But we have very bad facilities, and the also the attention to detail where athletes could be taken care of after, where you get in constant recovery, constant massages, constant physiotherapy, or whatever be the case. Like There ain't none of that in St. Lucia. And whoever it is that will come out and say, "Oh, there is," or that, they'll probably show a picture for the media and be like, "Oh, we did this today, or we did this tomorrow," and then the next month you never hear about it again. You know, so and everyone right now just has TikTok minds. So it is like whatever I show you now, and then 2 months later, no one cares because everyone is just living their life. Everyone has their bills to pay. Everyone got their things to do. So no one really cares like that. But it's just sad because there's so much talent and potential on such a small island, but it's just going to waste. And that's why you just get so much craziness on the island in itself because no one knows what to do.
You don't see, but what I can do is encourage you, block the noise, and continue to do you. You can maybe share a little as well. So, for persons who are not aware, how different is the professional game, compared to, I mean, the experiences at home? Like you said, most of the things were like new to you for sure.
Yeah. Um,
Was it that
Overseas,
easy to be able to adopt, if anything, for better
no.
too?
So it's not easy, especially when you, like I said, come from a small island that is not known for volleyball. You constantly have to prove yourself. So it's like you get guys who are from, let's say, Serbia, or for example, and they're known for volleyball. Poland, they don't have to work as hard in practice as you. Like you have to come in and give 100% every single day, because the one day you don't give 100%, the coach will be like, "Oh, you're not that good. Okay, let me bring this guy who's from here, who's on the bench when you're known for a starter." So the the expectation is a very heavy weight. Pressure is a very acquired taste, and I've seen a lot of people break under pressure. Um, so the pressure that it came with, you so small, you just known for your jumping ability. So I had to then now adapt to my game, try to learn more technical stuff in the game, try to understand and read the game. Um, the guys that I'm going up against are 6'8", 6'9", 6'10", 7 foot, very tall guys. So me coming in my little 6'7", height, that's nothing for a lot of these guys. The only thing that saves me is my jumping ability. But the transition of, like I said, in Saint Lucia, what we learn is a completely different volleyball, a completely different vibe. It's completely different on a whole. What you do in the Caribbean compared to what you do overseas, and that doesn't have to only do with volleyball. That, like, I've seen sports like basketball, I've seen football practices and stuff like that. It is completely different. And if you a starter and you from a small island, I don't know, coaches just tend to gravitate to wanting to press you all the time. They always want you to do more. They always expect more. It's like you just a target. But then I always use it as, if you looking at me like that, that means you want me to succeed. You want better from me. So it just depends on your perspective and how you view things. But the being in St. Lucia and being overseas is a completely different, just the professionalism, the attitude, the persistence, consistency, um, and you actually have to get better. If you just the same way, they will send you home. Because there are millions of players just waiting for an opportunity. Like the moment they fire you or you don't have a contract, just like that, another player comes in. So it's player versus player. Everyone is just fighting for a position.
Thank you, Mr. Seja. 26 minutes after the hour, I just want to say good morning to Mr. Bryanson Solange. Thank you so much for that as well. Um, what does it take mentally and physically to compete at those high levels? We know a lot can be at stake as well.
What does it take?
How do you prepare really mentally?
Me personally, that's a good question. Nothing really prepares you. Well, I talk about me because I still get butterflies in my stomach before I had the first whistle, you know. Like even on the first whistle, I'm still like trying to get butterflies out my stomach, you know. But it is nothing really prepares you mentally for professional life. Nothing really prepares you for anything. Like the thing is, like when you overseas, you have to live on your own. You have to usually cook for yourself, or the team provides food. You have to clean, do your washing, do everything. You basically like an adult. Like if you're somebody who's 18, 19 years old living at your mother's house, it's completely different than that. It's like you come in and live in all on your own. You have full responsibility for everything that you do, like if you are an adult. And that's what I came into. Um, and sometimes what used to help me was, talking to my friends, but I would say Julian played a big part because he prepped me. Him and the Brazilian coach Cafe, they prepped me for what professional life would be. And that's why it was easy for me to transition into being a pro. So, yeah, the best way I could answer that is the best way I could answer that is just fortify your mind as best as you can back home. A lot of things will challenge you. You're gonna have a lot. It's just a lot of in the moment learning. You have to know how to take not to take everything seriously. You have to know, okay, tomorrow is another day. Today was okay, bad, but tomorrow doesn't have to be that way. You have to put your mind. You have to go in a different place where you have to understand no one is gonna come save you. Nobody. This is your battle to fight. And the moment you give up, another person is going to come and take that very opportunity that you just gave up on. So it's about not giving up, just putting it in your mind that you will overcome it. Tomorrow is another day. You know, you will go days where you have a slump, you feel a little homesick, a little depressed. But what I would say about depression is it likes loneliness for some reason. The moment you just continue to be lazy and bored and do nothing, that is when depression really hits you. The moment you continue to do things and occupy yourself, you don't really give depression you don't give it the strength to like really settle in. But you're gonna have ups and downs. You're gonna have bad days. You're gonna have sad days. It's going to be hard. But what I will say is the stories that you will tell at the end or the top of that mountain you could write a book. So I always say just write it through. My friend used to always tell me this, bro. Just put your head down and just go. As long as you can see the step in front of you, you good. So that's just always what I've had in my head. Just put my head down, work. At the end, my story will be told, and I will have the right platform to tell my story.
Thank you for your short thoughts to that question. What has been your most memorable achievement on the court?
To be honest with you, last year I cried. I won't lie. When I won best middle of the season, I cried. I've never really won anything individually overseas. I've worked a lot. I've gone through so much over the years, like so much talk, so many people not believing in me, you know, going through it, personal life things. And last year was probably one of the worst years of my life, but, I wore that with a smile on my face. Um, and then just winning best middle, like at the end of the season, I needed 3 more blocks to win best middle of the season, and I got exactly 3. And I remember writing on my hand, best middle of the season just before I played that game. And me winning that, I went home and just had my alone time. I remember calling my mom, and she was like, tell me she happy for me. Good job, good job, good job. But also my mother is my biggest critic. Like whenever she called me, it's like, you didn't mash on the court. She don't hit it on the court. Yeah. She'll always tell me that. Like every time she'd watch my game and she'd just tell me a whole bunch of things. But I love her because she keeps me down. She keeps me humble. She always tells me leave my feet on the ground. But I just remember just asking her and telling her like I'll talk to her tomorrow, and just sitting down in my bed up until like 5 in the morning. I remember I just stayed up the whole night and I cried and just gave thanks to God that I got through it and I won best middle of the season, and yeah, that was one of my best accomplishments. And I would say maybe right after that would be 2021 when my team was in the semifinal of the Greek Final Four Cup, and I was having the hell of a game, like amazing game, and I got the last block to bring my team to the final. That moment when the announcer was just like saying my name and the screams of the arena, like that was just surreal to me. Yeah, so yeah, that was probably the two really best
Definitely,
moments.
let's celebrate this accomplishment as well for Soufriere, for St. Lucia. And permit me to ask, what do you believe St. Lucians and the Caribbean can do to develop more professional volleyball players?
I don't just think like I think we're on the topic of volleyball, which is okay, but I think just on a whole we could produce way more professional athletes on a whole. And I think the first step is developing a professional way in their attitude, in their behavior. I think that's one of the first things because a lot of people, yeah, they have the talent, but when you look up there, they don't think. Like it's like some of the decisions that they make, you could tell that either it comes down from a family thing or from the environment that they're in, the friend group or whatever it is, but it's 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 not taught the right way, especially like the attitude. What I remember Miss Joan Hippolyte when I was at school, she used to say, "Your attitude determines your altitude." She used to always say that at assembly, and just running with that my entire career. But for St. Lucia, I think, or in the Caribbean, I think the first step is to develop players or athletes' mind, maybe doing seminars or something where athletes have something to leave with. They can take notes. Maybe do day in the life of a pro for different sports. Day in the life of how it is. Stuff like that. What it takes to be a pro. You know, that's something that I'm actually working on right now to come to the Caribbean next year. What it takes to be a pro and showing them the different steps and what your day is pretty much like when you are a pro. I think that proper training and investment in the different areas. I think facility is second thing I would say is facilities. We don't have facilities. A lot of athletes are practicing on concrete, on road, the complex. The complex in Castries, this pretty much road. That's what you're training on a road, basically, because it's just asphalt under your feet. I know that the St. Lucia volleyball team was training at Soufriere Simmons Court, which is concrete. Like, and that was one of the reasons why I did not go train with the national team. And I had some other reasons, but that was one of the reasons why I was just like, I'm not going to sacrifice my knees like that, knowing that I'm about to play for my country, which doesn't recognize me at all. But I'm about to go sacrifice myself for my country, and I am not getting a cent. Like, we are in 2026. The economic time we in right now is different. You cannot go in massy stores and say, I want to pay my groceries on St. Lucia Pride. You can't do that. So
It may work.
you can't do that. So I just feel like when you're playing for a national team, they just want you to be playing on, yes, I'm playing for my national team or St. Lucia Pride or whatever. Man, like, athletes need to be getting some form of stipend. You are giving so much into a sport. You need to find a place to stay in Castries. You need to get bus. You need to feed yourself. You need to do all of that just to play for a national team, get a trophy, and then come back home. And then that's just it. Like, come on, let's be serious. Like, we are in different times now. And there's too much money. There's money for all types of craziness in St. Lucia. So yeah, a better job could be done. A way better job could be done. So I believe in facilities. They should be doing more in the facilities all around St. Lucia, not only to have the Bossage in the facility as the only indoor facility that we have in St. Lucia. They should have way more than that. Um, at least one in every corner of St. Lucia, one in Vieux-Fort, one in Soufriere, one in Micoud, Dennery, or wherever, one in Castries. I feel like the whole complex, VG complex, should be an indoor facility. But yeah, anyways, that's for another story. I think yeah, facilities, getting into the mental part of being a pro for athletes, and then ultimately just investing in coaches, bringing. I think the country, especially St. Lucia or the Caribbean, need to stop bringing in coaches like, let's say, Cubans or Brazilians. I think they should bring in Europeans, because if you're trying to be a pro and the pro leagues are in Europe, you'd want a European coach to come and tell you, okay, this is what we're doing, or this is the type of volleyball, or all of that. I think we don't put enough emphasis on grassroots. I don't think we put enough emphasis on grassroots. I don't know, something different about the sun nowadays in St. Lucia. The sun hitting. I don't know what going on about the sun, but when you have athletes coming in to a camp 8 or 9, 10 o'clock in the day, sun beaming, by 11, 12 o'clock, sun cooking all in your head, and it's like, yeah, that's why I feel like if we had better facilities, you could run way better grassroots, and you can get a lot more kids involved. And it also the risk of injury. You're not sliding on concrete, getting all your knees, your flesh out, everything. So yeah, I think that will help a lot. Just pretty much these things, and then just coaching, and yeah.
Agreeing to that 100%. The bonus question: how can professional players or player, even like yourself, give back and inspire the upcoming athletes?
To be honest, it's a great question. Me personally, I give back. I come home and I try to give like shoes, try to give like pants and training clothes and stuff like that to some of the athletes. Some of them, they would ask me online. A lot of people message me online to ask me certain workouts, what they could do, what they could look out for, different things they could learn. But it's only so far I know an athlete could take it realistically. Like I said in the start of the conversation, you have to be a little crazy, because you have to want it so much that nothing could stop you. Not in your mind, you have to be almost delusional. Like, I am going to be a pro. Like, I don't care how I do it, I'm going to be a pro. And for you to just get up every day working, guarantees that you're gonna get anything or anything like that. For you to go into that place is very hard. Repeat your question again.
With your expertise, how do you think you can shape the life of young persons who are interested in volleyball, or even maybe the sporting
Okay.
fanatics as well?
Okay. I believe I could help personally by trying to, like I was saying just a bit earlier about doing this camp. I want to create a camp where I'm going around the Caribbean, sourcing young, athletes, young volleyball players, showing them what it takes to be a pro, you know, teaching them day by day, doing video analysis, showing them the different technique and form and all these different things
I'm
that you
trying to
will
hear
need.
what you're saying to me.
You can hear me?
Yes.
Okay.
Continue.
So yeah, so trying to teach them their form and everything like that, and trying to, better the technique, make them speak to professional coaches, have them analyze their games and stuff like that. And ultimately, my dream is to create like a West Indies kind of volleyball team of like 12 to 14 players, and we get some kind of sponsorship go to Europe with this team. Go to Europe, play against some teams over there, um, play against a couple clubs, a couple teams, and then ultimately they will be probably scouted by some teams whilst over there. And every year make that a thing. Just bring in new players or the same players that we had from the last year. Maybe they come in and maybe we have then two teams, and this continues to be a thing. So even if we have to get a player, one from Jamaica, one from St. Lucia, one from Antigua, like just combine like almost a little West Indies volleyball team, and I just take everyone of that young team that I put together over the summer, and then we come in the summer, still come to Europe somewhere in Europe where I could probably have a team here in France or a set of teams here in France or the national teams of these countries, France, Greece, Romania, or something, and just play against these guys. And they get the experience and they understand what it is like to be a pro and what it is like to play against high level people and stuff like that. And I just feel like with that, they could also go back to their country and then give back just through that experience in itself. So that is one of the directions I'm trying to um, go into right now.
I think it's a great idea. And even adding to that as well, it would be nice to see a Tevin Ferrel Foundation in the near future as well.
Yeah, it's something. Because these things also you pretty much is your money or you get funded by some other people. So that's something that I'm looking into in the near future. Not something in the immediate future, but near future for sure.
And even speaking of maybe grooming potential young sporting disciplines, how important are discipline education and maintaining a positive mindset?
How important is it?
Yes.
It's the number one thing. Sporting discipline. You know, start starting the start removing bad habits from young. Even with the attitude, even with everything, is the first thing that you know that's is fundamental. There's something we focus on a lot of the education, but I think in the sporting classes and stuff like that, there should be some kind of sports psychology presented in schools, where players are understanding what the sports psychology, understanding, you know, the attitude that is needed, and the responsibility that they have when they step on the pro scene and stuff like that. Um, yeah, I think it's very important.
Thank you. 15 minutes to the hour of 12 noon in Surface and Lucia. And of course, the Eastern Caribbean. To those of you just tuning in, good morning. It is Mr. Tevin Ferrel Seizure, our international and, of course, very own Soufriere pro volleyball player. And he has been doing remarkably well for St. Lucia, and he has actually transcended borders, and we need to continue building positive mindsets and shaping persons with talent, persons with a lot of potential as well. And with that coming from Soufriere, I just want to ask you, you hear that statement being made all the time: you are a product of your environment. Do you stand by that? Do you believe that?
To an extent, I think I think I think also it depends on the person. It really depends on the person. Um, yeah, I really think it's 50-50 because I've also seen people. I've also seen people. I didn't also come from much, but having a little help from my family. But I've also seen people who come from absolutely nothing, like dirt, garbage, like absolutely nothing, uh, make it out. I think it depends on how determined the person is. I think what where you come from doesn't really have to define you. I think you create the definition for yourself. You build yourself. You create who you really are. Um, if you allow your environment to penetrate or affect you in that way, it just says that you are weak. Um, but I would say that also, also it's hard. Like I'll be so honest with you. No, if no one wants to, if someone doesn't want to change, they will never change. Me and you could sit here and speak to a young boy in an environment. You could give him the best of conditions. You could move him in where he is and put him in somewhere that is safe, proper, amazing, and that is just you give them everything to thrive, and they will still not make it. And it's like, if someone, I always feel like if someone doesn't want to change, they will never change. You could speak a million times to someone, and I think that's where you get the saying, "Tep me say word, me say patan," because the more sometimes you speak to somebody, they just don't want to hear what you're saying. Like you talk, they say, "Yeah, yeah, yeah, I read, man, I read, yeah, man, that's true, that's true, that's true." But the moment you and I or whoever steps away from that person, and they're not strong up here mentally, or they don't know what they really want in their life, and it's okay to not really know what you want, but you have an idea of where you're trying to go, they will just react to what's comfortable. And a lot of people are scared to be uncomfortable. I think the moment anybody wants to, I think if for you to be, for you to get out of your environment, especially in a town called Soufriere, see that place, I always tell people, but if you get out of Soufriere, you could make it anywhere in this world. I'll get no one tell me. If you go out of Soufriere, St. Lucia, you make it anywhere. Anywhere. So I just feel like it just depends. It just depends on how bad that person wants it, and not allowing the environment to like change that. It just depends on how bad the person wants it. That's the best way I could put it. I just feel like the environment could play a big part into what you what you're around and what's going on in your mind, but it's up to you if you really want it to affect you. Like a lot of people know the difference between right and wrong. Like a lot of people actually know like that is wrong for me to do, but they just do it because everyone else is doing it. But they're not. That was your decision. God gave you free will. Like you know exactly what you're doing. So you know that was wrong, but you still went to do it. So it's like it just depends. Some people, it's just hard, you know. It's hard. It's a hard life, hard world. Not everyone's gonna make it. That's the harsh reality that a lot of people. And one more thing. I don't know. Today I feel inspired. You see this notion where they tell students or kids like, if you work very hard and you do your best and you do all this, like, like you will make it. Not true. That is not true at all. I've learned the hard way. You could work as hard as you want. You could do everything. You could do every single thing correct by the book. You know how many people I've seen in Soufriere that have more talented than me, basketball players. Lindsay, I'll say, bro, there was so many guys that they had every reason to go pro, but just because that one person didn't touch them on the shoulder and say, "You next," or a professional coach from somewhere didn't see them and be like, "Yo, you next," they didn't get the opportunity. So then I always ask myself, like, is it really about what you know or who you know? And a lot of people who are having high paying jobs or in the country and doing so many things, and you wonder, bro, how? Just because of sometimes who they know, just because of the connections that they have, just because of who they connected with, who knows who. Half of the time you go to school and you learn for some sport, some subject that you ended up not even going to work for. That's not even what you work. That's not even You went and study and pay all this money in school, and you came back home to try to do a job that is not what you studied for, but you're just trying to make ends meet. So it's like people having this thing like, oh, I'm gonna work hard, and then oh, okay, yeah, a lot of people work hard. A lot of people work hard. Not only in our little island of 180,000 people, a lot of people working very hard. But it's just about who you connecting yourself with. When you open your mouth, who are you describing yourself as? You know, are you somebody that I could take a bet on, and I could be like, okay, yeah, if I put my name out there for you, will you not disappoint me? Will you not spoil then spoil my name? A lot of people actually are like that. They don't give another person an opportunity just because they know if I go and I put my name out for that guy, he's gonna do some stupid thing, and then he's gonna spoil my reputation. So a lot of people miss out opportunities like that. So I would go back and revisit a lot of things. Yeah, you need to work hard. Yeah, you need to train, and you need to do all these different things to make sure when you get the opportunity you're ready. But then I just think it's way more than that. It's also when you open your mouth, who you're introducing yourself as, and who you know, who you connected with, who you getting to know as the years go by. So I would say just try to get a lot of connections with different people, and you never know. You never know who could just tap your shoulder one day in any opportunity and say, "Hey, you next." So yeah, that's my take.
I am in agreement 100% as well. It's the connections, forging connections, and not just connections, but those that birth opportunity, positivity as well. Because there are some connections that gets you nowhere at all. And a lot of
Yeah.
the times as well, I think it has a lot to do with people are just envious for no apparent reason at all. Oh, Tevin got into volleyball and he's doing so well. And I have my son who has been struggling so long, who actually wants to carry on that same vein, and nobody's lifting a finger or nothing is not happening for him. So I will think of a way where I can attack Tevin, if directly or indirectly, but I will try to take his career
It's
down.
it's easy. It's very easy to hate. You see it all around. You see it all around the world. You see it all around our community, all around St. Lucia. It's very easy to hate. Everyone grabs on hatred. Everyone grabs on negativity easier, more than positivity. Everyone grabs onto the bad things easier. It's very easy for you to do that, because if that's what everybody's doing, I'll just follow. I'll just jump along the bandwagon.
Yes.
But a lot of people are not. It's like positivity is like it's like a quiet taste nowadays, just for people to be positive, or just to
It
spread good,
is.
or just to share good news, or to just celebrate people you know um and I do commend the Canneries sports council when they went to get Megan on the airport, not knowing what that girl went through. That girl over there went to play netball, and then end up getting a little basketball thing, and then ride with that, and then breaking NCAA things and doing all these things, and now she get a little chance to go pro and stuff like that. And they celebrate her in that way. You know what I'm saying? And it was them originally who was on that for her, and then the ministry came on board. It's just like people just wait for the next thing. They just wait. Oh, that's something that's oh, a lot of people like that little positive thing. Okay, let me jump on it. Oh, a lot of people like that bad thing. Oh, let me jump on it. Everyone is just on this. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know what's in the water nowadays, but yeah. Everyone is on some different bandwagon thing nowadays. It's just whatever I could do to get attention. Just an attention seeking society we in right now.
Unfortunately, you again get that where the blind will be leading the blind in most scenarios as well. And for us here, I want to say thank you so much, for that encounter. It did bear fruit. And off the record, the conversation we had, I was really, saddened by that. That should not have been the case. But that's water under the bridge. I've been grilling you so long now, and it's almost lunchtime. Let's have some fun for sure. Beach volleyball or indoor volleyball?
Indoor because it has more money.
Pardon?
Indoor because it has more money.
Oh, so you go for the money. Why not? For sure. Best
Yeah.
position to play?
The best.
Best position to play?
I would say opposite because you have nothing to do. Like you literally just all you have to do is pretty much serve and spike. Like you is the best and easiest position.
Short and sweet. Favorite volleyball memory?
Ooh, so many.
Actionable, you've been there at the snap, no?
And oh my god, I have a lot of fear. I just think in the times when I used to be with the national team when the national team made sense. I think one of my favorite memories was 2014 with the senior national team. First time making a senior national team. That's one of my best memories. Just that whole tournament in itself, the experience I got there was amazing. Yeah, I would say that.
Okay, don't let them come for you. Toughest opponent you faced?
USA in 2014. That was one of the best USA teams I've ever seen in my life.
Okay. Best lesson volleyball has taught you?
You know, the crazy part is I had a feeling you would ask me a question like this, and I had it in my mind, you know. Um, the best lesson I've learned from volleyball. Can we come back? Can we come back to that one? Can we come back to that one?
Yes. One word that describes your playing style?
Physical.
Okay. Who is your volleyball inspiration?
Julian Bissell.
Nice. What keeps you motivated after difficult game? Your mom?
The I think the fact that I haven't put my mom in a house yet. The fact that I haven't bought her a house, like and fully retired her yet. I think that what keeps me going all the time.
It will come. It's beyond the horizon.
Yeah.
It's yeah, for sure. And you ready for the big question?
Oh,
Biggest
we
lesson
there?
volleyball
I
has taught you?
I think the
You're trying to escape that one, no?
yeah. What's the question? What's the question?
The biggest lesson volleyball has taught you?
This is gonna probably sound harsh, but the biggest lesson volleyball have taught me
I heard you.
is that nobody really cares.
Okay.
Yeah, nobody really cares like that.
Okay. A minute to the hour of 12 noon in Surface and Ocean, of course, the Eastern Caribbean. Very interesting, Mr. Seja. And this is only the beginning of, our discussions. And I want to, if I can, make amends a little. Not representing all media houses, but at least account for Soufriere. We will, as much as possible, to put you in that, spotlight, give you, your deserved crown for sure, give us this opportunity to do that. If we were to say we will right the wrongs, yes, as little as possible. So with that, I want to ask, what are your goals for the next chapter of your professional career? And speak on the upcoming competitions.
Well, they always say a man always gets his first flowers when he dies, but
Not necessarily.
yeah, that's usually the saying. A man only gets his first flowers then. But I think for this season is to help my team achieve its goal, winning championship. This season also I want to. There's a few personal things that I want to do. I actually want to learn French fully, and the fact that we speak patois and like there's such a big difference between our Creole and French. It upsets me because when I feel like I talk in some really good Creole, these people still not understanding. So I want to learn French. That is a big goal of mine this year. Um, win championships, stay healthy, come back home in one piece. Um, create more connections, meet more people. Um, start this camp for athletes for in the Caribbean. This what it takes to be a pro camp. Start that. Um, yeah, kind of so yeah. What I'm kind of looking into right now. Win championship, learn French, stay healthy, do the camp, and
Tevin,
yeah.
we lost you a little in terms of the audio.
Oh
Um,
no,
if you
I
could,
was
from my end.
okay. I was just saying. I want to do the camp. I want to win the championship this year. I want to
I'm
stay
sorry, could you
healthy.
try getting back in? I'm not able to hear you at this moment. Just a minute. Fine.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, perfect. You were saying?
Okay. Yeah. So I want to start the camp this year. I want to win the championship this season. Start the what it takes to be a pro camp. Um, win championship. Stay healthy. Learn French and create more connections with people overseas and build better, more relationships. Stuff like that.
Thank you. Finally, what message would you like to leave with aspiring players across St. Lucia?
Uh, okay. And I'm hoping that this goes across to athletes. I'm hoping that people actually listen to this, which half of the time no one really cares, like I said. But I would say, guys, don't take life too seriously. We never know when God calls on us, and this is our last moment. Whatever you do in your life, make sure that you're doing it to make, first of all, yourself proud and to make your name proud, to leave a good name for yourself. Um, give back to the world, even if it doesn't have to mean that you going out there and just every day speaking and doing all these different things. But sometimes in just the good that you do, it's a form of giving back to the world, giving back to people, and they always have something to remember you on. Um, take pictures. Take pictures because this is something you'll always look back on in many years to come. That and you could laugh about with your friends and your family and your kids and grandkids, and you could tell them, "Let me laju, one." So that, and just try to change one life before you leave this earth. Just try to change one person's life. Yeah, that's pretty much it.
Thank you. And your final shout outs to family, friends.
Mama, I love you. I love my mom. Shout out to my mom. Granny, I know that you're looking at me. I just put my grandmother in the ground, and still trying to recover from that. My family, even if we so far in distance and a lot of people ain't really agreeing with a lot of people, but at the same time, there's still love there because when it all said and done, all we really got is family. Um, to the people that support me, oh my God, you had a guy who came on recently, um,
So,
the one who was doing Mount Kilimanjaro,
Marcus,
Marcus. Yes, man, I've been watching that guy, and he's always like supported me. Sometimes not by messages, but whenever I see him, he really he really loves my vibe, man, and I appreciate him a lot. But there's so many people I could mention, and I know some in the moment, like when before these things, I always think about these people, and then when the time comes, my head is just blank. But there's just so many people throughout the town of Soufriere, you know, people who I've seen like parents, people who I've seen like just being there with me from the get go. I I really and truly I'm grateful for them. You know, just my true supporters. They know themselves. Everyone who's just been, there with me from the start. Um, yeah, yeah.
Thank you so much. Here goes the big one. Let's see how you're going to respond to that. This is where we end. Merci beaucoup, Tevin, pour cette opportunité. Je suis reconnaissant de la chance vous m'avez donnée.
You lose me down. You lose me down the ending there. I really,
Uh,
yeah,
I thought you're
yeah.
learning the language, no?
I'm learning, but I don't know what that last part you just said there. Boy, you kill me there down.
Short and sweet. Whatever you make of it, whatever you understood.
Like you just said, thank you for like being here and you know, basically something like that.
Yeah, thank you so much for this opportunity you granted onto me for sure. Forever be grateful for that. Thank you so, so much. And we will continue to keep in touch.
Okay, all right. Yeah, I kind of grasped that piece a little bit, but
Okay, this
I
is
appreciate for you. I appreciate you having me. You reaching out to me. Hopefully this touches a heart some way somehow. A lot was said, but in such short time, you could only say so much. So I appreciate the opportunity. Appreciate you, you speaking with me. Right now, I'm probably a little late for gym, but hopefully they ain't gonna find me or punish me. But yeah, I appreciate it. Thank you.
9 minutes after the hour. This is where we say thank you so much again, Mr. Seja, for facilitating this virtual discussion today. A lot was actually shared even behind the scenes of our professional players, that what they actually have to just endure just to actually allow or fulfill the dreams, whatnot. And this is why we also encourage all young persons aspiring to become not only volleyball, but the sporting disciplines as well. Continue to persevere, continue, to follow that dream, continue to build, have that positive mindset as well, and build your dreams, let it become realities. And we should not allow our environment, to determine our future, where we want to go. With that being said, thank you, thank you, thank you again immensely. We do appreciate you. Do have a blessed and a productive one on that side of the world. And we will continue to dialogue for sure. Keep me in the loop with everything that's happening as it unfolds. Peace out. Yeah.
Thank
See
you.
you. Take care. Bye bye.
All right.